A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to the show Reflections, where we select a particular verse from the Holy Quran or a hadith from the Aimma alayhimus salam and discuss its social and individual relevance to life today. Today we will be selecting not a verse but an entire surah of the Quran, Surah Al-Qadr, which is the grand night. And the surah says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatul Qadr wa ma adraka ma Laylatul Qadr, Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr, tanazzalu al-malaikatu wal-ruhu fiha bi-idhni rabbihim min kulli amr, salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. And the translation is as follows: Surely we revealed it on the grand night, and what will make you comprehend what is the grand night? The grand night is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the Spirit descend in it by the permission of the Lord for every affair. Peace, it is till the break of the morning. With us today to discuss this surah is Sayyid Arif Rizvi. Sayyid, welcome to the show. Assalamu alaikum. And hopefully we'll be able to expound on this surah and what its essence is. Now, this entire surah is dedicated to a small period of time, one particular night in 1 month of one of a few nights within the month of Ramadan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the Holy Quran, elevates and really praises this night, such that the entire surah is dedicated to the message and its importance. But what is it all about? What is its essence? What is its objective and message? Hopefully, Sayyid, we can expound on this today. This is a commonly recited verse. We don't only recite it in the month of Ramadan or the night itself. We tend to recite it frequently during prayers throughout the year. But what is it really about this night? What is so special that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decided to give it a special place above all nights?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As you mentioned, that this surah, Surah Al-Qadr, is very highly dignified and a meritorious chapter of the Quran, which we recite throughout the year, which is primarily to bring our attention towards this night, as it says itself that it is Laylatul Qadr. Now, this surah, surely it says that we revealed it on the grand night. Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. We revealed what in this grand night? We have revealed to you the secrets, the divine secrets which are there, gets revealed on this night. As the name of the surah says itself, Surah Al-Qadr, which is the significant part of this particular verse, which means destiny. This is the night of destiny. This surah is just a means of expressing the significance of the night. The surah talks about 4 significance and 1 virtue of the night. One is that it is a night of descension of the Quran, nuzul of Quran. Then it's a night of descension of Malaika. It's a night of comprehension and a night of peace and safety, salamati, which is there. And 1 virtue which is expressed is about this night, that this is greater than 1,000 nights over year.
Right.
So there are 4 specialities of the night which is discussed in this particular verse over here. Now, ideally we should be taking one by one and talking about that, but considering the time limitation, we'll just focus on this element. Night of Laylatul Qadr is a night of destiny, where a person makes his fate, makes his destiny for the next coming year. It's the night of Ahl Suluk. This is the very important point about this night. Laylatul Qadr is not the night for every person. It's only for those who are the wayfarer, those who are on the journey towards perfection, journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is for them that this night which comes brings in certain specialities and acceleration for them to accelerate their journey. This is the key message of this particular night. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or in the traditions also, there are 5 nights which are discussed. Out of them, one of them could be Laylatul Qadr, where there is a special mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like, you take one step, but Allah counts it as 1,000 steps. It's a very simple analogy. If you take, like you are walking one step in every night, it is counted as one step. But this one step which you take in this particular night, Allah gives you 1,000 additional bonus points, you can say,
right,
which is a special mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to basically expedite my journey towards the final goal over here. It's a special mercy. But again, it is tashri, it is not taqweeni, that anyone who wants, that everyone in this night will get this special mercy from Allah. It is tashri, means if you meet the conditions and by your choice and will, you can make your destiny in this night. You can do the journey of 1,000 nights in one particular night. Hence, the first thing about this night is it's a night of Ahl Suluk. And when you are one of those salik who is doing this journey of suluk, suluk basically means what? Suluk doesn't mean a physical journey where you are in one position today and you will be in the next physical position. Neither it's a journey of time. It's a journey of virtues. And again, by virtues, it means it's a journey of change of state. You keep on changing your state. As your state of heart changes, you are getting more and more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, heart again doesn't mean the physical heart. It's the qalb, it's the ruh, it's the nafs. Okay, it's the fitra. As that keeps on changing, you are getting more and more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the night in which the most significant thing which is expected from a traveler in this night is state change, change of state of heart. If a person can achieve that state of change of heart's change, then he has got his destiny in this particular night. And the peak of changing this state of heart is inqitat. What he has to achieve in this night is inqitat, which means disconnection. Disconnection from the various other attachments which we have, which takes us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, irrespective of whether they are haram or not. We're not just talking about haram attachments.
right,
Even mubah attachments which are there, which takes me away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I need to disconnect from those. And if I can develop that state of inqitat, which Amir al-Mu'mineen says in Dua Munajat al-Shabaniya also, that, oh Allah, disconnect me from everything and connect me to you only. This is the desired state which a moment should desire in this particular night, whereby if he can reach this particular state, then only he will start to get the blessings of this night, which is the descension of Quran, which means he will be able to comprehend the entire Quran, which is guidance. He's going to comprehend guidance in this night.
But just to understand this concept of disconnection better, one may think that we, in the practical life, so-called practical life, how does one disconnect when he has to wake up in the morning, go to his work or go to school, come back, do his chores and fulfill his responsibilities? How does one at the same time disconnect and continue with these responsibilities and not be in a corner and just rot in a sense?
Again, this subject or this chapter of Ahl Suluk is where many people have been misguided and deviated, and the complete sect which is of Sufism is an outcome of this only, of Suluk. Whereby disconnection doesn't mean physical disconnection from the world, where you disconnect from everything in such an isolation. Though, even if you do this, it is not necessary that you are disconnected. Still you might be attached with certain desires, feelings and lust inside. Now, you are doing a routine course every day, but if the access of those routine activities which you are doing is tawheed, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there is a disconnection from the world. It is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yes, definitely this state change needs a lot of preparation. And that is why these nights are coming towards the end of the Ramazan.
Right.
So after Rajab, Shaban, when you enter into the holy month of Ramadan, you are preparing yourself for this night. In Rajab and Shaban, you are preparing for Ramadan, and from the beginning of Ramadan, you are preparing for Laylatul Qadr. So this is how you are going to achieve it. And the first thing which is required in this state change is niyat-e-sadaqiyah, means a purified intention. If my intentions are purified, if I am, as the Quran very specifically says, that develop exclusive faith in Allah, become mukhlasin, not mukhlis, mukhlas, which means exclusive faith. Your faith should be only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today we might be entering in this night with an intention of seeking sawab and getting Jannah. This is not disconnection. Again, there is because for us the perception of Jannah is also materialistic. So there is a materialistic attachment over here also, where the purpose over here is liqa, union with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the end we can assess ourselves, the hajat which we seek in this night, what am I asking for? That will itself show me that whether my heart state changed or not.
Right.
In other words, which the Quran also refers to as that you have to become muhajir fi sabilillah. You have to do hijrat on the path of Allah, and that can happen in this night with the divine support and the divine mercy which is there. When you do hijrat, which means you are doing a migration, migration is different from a journey. In migration, your intentions are that you are not going to return back. Whereas in a journey, your intention is that you are going and you are going to come back. And what we do in this night is a journey, not a migration.
Right.
That this is one night we have to spend from after Maghrib Isha till morning. Somehow we have to spend the night and do whatever ibadat we could do. We spend the night, we earn the sawab, and next day again we are back to our normal course over here. But if you are doing a migration, then you are disconnecting from all your bayats, all those homes which you are living in, the homes of desires, the homes of wealth, the homes of status, the home of various racism, prejudice, all these things. If you are able to successfully migrate from those and come on the path of Allah, then your heart has changed, the state of the heart has changed. And when the state of heart changed, then you come to the point of idrak, which is comprehension. Idrak is different from understanding. Idrak, when this verse is Mama Adraka, means have you comprehended? Idrak means feeling something. Idrak is not understanding something. Your aql can understand. We can sit and do a tafsir of Laylatul Qadr. But that doesn't mean after doing a 2 hours tafsir or 4 hours tafsir of Laylatul Qadr, now you will be able to comprehend this night. No. This is something which you have to do. This tafsir would only be a preparation of the mind, not of the heart. The preparation of the heart is what something which every individual has to do, provided he meets the prerequisite conditions over there. And Ramadan is the best opportunity to meet those prerequisite conditions over here.
To develop that state of heart.
Yes. Your heart has to become soft. Unless there is softness in the heart, unless there is softness in the qalb, you will not be able to comprehend this night. And one of the examples of heart being hard, one of the criteria of assessing or judging whether really my heart can change in this night is very simple. How do you find your acts of worship? Do you find worship as a burden or as a pleasure? If really by your heart you are enjoying worship, you find it as a pleasure, then the heart is soft. If you find worship as a burden, then the heart is still hard. It has not yet become soft. It is not prepared to receive the dissension from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Now, the amount of time that one spends in worship during this night, does that indicate the level of the state of heart of the individual? Because you would say most of those who are fasting will engage in some form of worship during this night, either with a group or individually, and they will spend at least some amount of time. But it reaches a stage for some where it becomes a burden. Is it that their state of heart hasn't been that developed, or what could be the reason for this?
Yes, this is one of the reasons that the state of heart is not developed, where this night becomes a burden for them. But what matters is the quality of worship,
Mm.
which is the sincerity, the khulus, the ikhlas which is there,
Mhm.
and the purpose for which I am doing the worship, the philosophy that I want to make my destiny. It's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me a blank sheet and asked me to write on this whatever you want to write in this night.
Mm.
Now, depending upon how your heart is prepared and what are the attachments you have with you, those things are going to come on paper.
Mm.
If I'm going to ask, write down what you need from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever you write down will tell you what is your state of
Right.
heart over here. What are my burning concerns in this life? I am
Mm.
going to put those things in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
The thing is, there is a hadith also that, people come to Allah and they ask from Allah everything other than Allah.
Mm.
We will ask. In this night also people want to seek everything but Allah from this night.
Right.
Whereas the philosophy of this night and this surah itself is telling us you have to idrak.
Mm.
You have to get Allah from this night. You have to go towards that union in this particular night. Hence, those who are not prepared will not get the benefits of this night. They might be spending time in ritualistic acts over here,
Mhm.
but those ritualistic acts might or might not give them much of benefits.
Mhm.
Fine, sawab is there in any case. That is not something which you can deny.
Right.
But what the batin of this night which you need to acquire, that is not possible. That is very difficult for everyone to get.
Mm.
Though it's not impossible, provided you are prepared. If you are prepared, that one moment of change can come at any particular time in this night. This is why it has been asked that you should remain awake for the entire night.
Right.
And spend your time in pondering and thinking in this particular night, so that you can get to that state change,
Right.
that moment in which your heart could change and you could realize that, oh Allah, what I have been doing throughout my life.
Mm.
I have been involved in so many things which is not my purpose of life, and now I take a pledge over here
Mm.
that I want to change and you help me. And that is where the destiny of human being is written.
Mm.
His destiny for this particular night is written over here. If he keeps on seeking in this night that I have been going through business problems throughout the year and I want them to be solved, fine, Allah will say, this is your destiny, take it.
Right.
You take this destiny. This is not just for you, this is for the kafirin also.
Hmm.
This is for the infidels also.
Right.
They are also doing business. What is the difference between you and others? If you are really a salih, come and talk to Allah about what are the needs of this Sarasulu.
Hmm.
What is required on this particular path. Seek those things from Allah, and Allah promises that in this night we will give you. It's the night of destiny. Make your destiny, make your fate where you want to go.
Now, I think one of the important things that you've highlighted is the need for sincerity
Yeah.
to be successful in this night, and if that sincerity is there, then that, I guess it's a launchpad for this journey,
Exactly.
and being, I guess, honest with the self.
Yeah.
Whereas many people have this, I think one of the biggest problems that people face is they're not honest with themselves, their position, their goals and their objectives. And if the sincerity is there, it's definitely there will be some sort of elevation during this night. Now, with regards to the third verse within this surah, which says that it's the better than 1,000 months.
Yeah.
How is it really better than 1,000 months? What is it the Quran alluding to when it says this? Is there a special mystical state in this? What is it about this night that is really different? I would like to ask, in terms of the mystical realities, the cosmos.
Okay.
Is there a special changes taking place? What is it about this night?
Okay, as I said before also, the actual philosophy behind this, that this night is better than 1,000 months, is that 1,000 months means almost 30,000 days.
Right.
Now, every day human being is in a state of movement. Either he is moving forward or he is moving backward.
Mhm.
Forward means towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and backward means towards beastly attributes where he is going towards. Human being is not in a static stage.
Mm.
Either you are this way or that way. There is no 0 point for human being.
Mm.
If he is not traveling forward, that means he is going backward. Now, depending upon the ability which a human being, which a person has, he keeps on doing this journey on day-to-day basis. And this journey doesn't mean journey only by worship, by his day-to-day, each and every act, his sincerity, his honesty, his values, social values, individual values, all these things are making him move forward and forward in this path. Every day he is doing a journey. Say, if you go by, just for an analogy purpose, say 1 kilometer. If you go in the space of, say, in the domain of space, 1 kilometer is doing every day, 2 kilometers someday, 1.5 like this. But in this particular night, Allah says you can do what you have been doing in one day. You can do what you would be doing in 30,000 days in one night.
Right.
This much acceleration will be there. How will it be there? For two things. One is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is creating a mystical environment. The mercy of Allah is there. The malaik of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there. These malaikas are not there with a notepad to write down what you desires you want.
Right.
They are there to help me. They are there to protect me from evil thoughts and malices coming in my mind in this particular night. By virtue of which I accelerate my journey. Allah is giving me all possible support for me to come to that particular state change. Once that state changes, it is like a journey of 1000 months I have done in one particular night. Like if you read the last will, the testaments of this Shuhada of Islamic Revolution who fought in the Iran-Iraq war. These people who were youths, who were not so religious, who were not that much, like they were not scholars, they were not ruhanis, they were not philosophers. But a night before their shahadat, if you read that one small piece of paper, their wasiyatnama, you will see that this is something which even a scholar studying for 30-40 years wouldn't even think about such things which this person is writing. And Imam Khomeini would say that these Shodas have done the journey of 1000 years in one night. How? Because they went to that level of marifat which changed their state of heart instantly in that particular environment.
Right.
That environment of Shahadat, that environment of Karbala over there really facilitate them to change the state of heart. And again, the philosophy behind Imam Hussain asking for one night before Ashura was this only. He wanted the hearts to be fully prepared before being presented in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Night of Ashura, night of Laylatul Qadr have very high resemblance inside them.
Okay.
It's not that, and again, if you go on the social side of this, how this night leads towards social side, it leads to the night of Ashura.
Interesting. The correlation that you brought up with the night of Ashura and the call of Imam Hussain for that one particular night. If you look at it this way, really, this changes my whole perception of this night.
Exactly.
And as far as what the purpose of this night should be in terms of reflection and then change.
Yes.
Let us take a break just now, and we'll be back after a few messages, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome back to the show Reflections. We are here today discussing the Surah Al-Qadr, Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr, and the remaining verses that follow this. Prior to the break, we've been talking about the essence and the objective of this surah, which is referring to one particular night, the Laylatul Qadr, and Sayyid Arif has been enlightening us on its dimensions, on its purpose, and the requirements of the self during this night. Moving forward, I would like to ask, how does one prepare for this night? Since we are at the moment in a holy month of Ramadan, and this holy night will be approaching very soon, what are the particular etiquettes that one should observe? Because it's really a very grand invitation. I guess the peak of invitations perhaps throughout the Islamic year.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to prepare myself?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Preparing for this night, as I said before also, the preparation starts much before this night itself. The month of Ramadan itself, as each and every day passes, a person should be getting prepared for the night of Laylatul Qadr, to enter into that night. There are certain etiquettes for this night, just like there are etiquettes for the month of Ramadan, which definitely should be observed. Like you have to take ghusl, and there are some recommended salat for this night, recitation of the Holy Quran. All these things are etiquettes of the night, which should be observed, but again, looking at its batin. Certain etiquettes are to psychologically prepare us. They do not really deliver the rights of the night.
Okay.
Like a ghusl doesn't deliver the rights of the night, but psychologically it prepares me to go and step inside the night.
To step away from
Yeah, to step away from that.
Yes.
So you are having a sense of realization that I am now changing. At least physically, my mindset is changing now, and it's going in a different night altogether. One of the most important one of the most difficult thing which we have seen in this night, specifically in our culture, which is good as well as bad, both the positive side and the negative side, is congregational activities which are being done. We try to remember or do the worship in this night in congregational manner, which has a positive side also, because positive side in the sense that many people are not familiar, and if you leave them on their own to do individually, they might not be even be able to do that much which they would do sitting inside inside the mosque. It depends on the level of marifat and understanding which a person has. So for that category of people, it is good to bring
specifically children and youth.
Children and the youths, I would say, we have a misconception about youth. Youth should be the one who should possess the highest level of marifat. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Children are there. There are some people who are busy in the worldly affairs, and they need to come inside, and specifically women who are all the time in Ramadan cooking and doing this thing. They get an opportunity to leave everything and come inside the mosque and sit and do worship for this particular night. But on the other side, there is a negative side of this also. Many of the youths you see, they come but they are not inside the mosque. They go from groups, parties, talking, chatting, everything. And my respected teacher, Jawad Naqvi, says that in this particular night, when you are sitting in presence of Allah, even if your closest friend comes and tells you, come, I'll take you for a cup of coffee, just think at that time that he is a representative of Shaitan.
Yes.
That much significance is there for each and every moment of this particular night. So at times in congregational activities, we lose the essence at some stage in the night, where everything is planned and organized. You have to do 100 units of salat, of qaza, which is just, see, these things are listed in Mafatihul Jinan and other things for the sake of keeping those people busy in the night who don't know the essence of this night. Unfortunately, what we are doing is we have got 7 hours, 8 hours of the night, and we have to somehow fill this night. So we are trying to bring in rituals which can somehow pack this night and fill this night. In between we need half an hour breaks for tea, coffee, all these things. Somehow the night should pass. The philosophy is not to pass the night. The philosophy is to get and comprehend the virtues which are there in this particular night over here. If you look at many scholars, ulama, mujtahid, they never come inside mosques for this night. Fine, one of the essentials, etiquettes of this night is also talking about Islamic laws and Islamic teachings, the tafaqquhu fi din, getting marifat about religion, which is there in this particular night. Imam Sadiq al-Islam says that one of the things you should do in this night is talk about religion, preach religion, develop marifat, because without marifat, these people will not be able to comprehend this night at all. Hence, the major thing which a person has to do in this night, apart from certain etiquettes of salat and these things, is to achieve nearness of Allah with whichever possible means he thinks he can get, which could be recitation of Quran, which could be du'as and munajat, specifically du'a Joshin Kabir. If a person understands du'a Joshin Kabir, if he has the marifat of Asma'ullah, then that is one of the best way of comprehending the divine mercy and the divine attributes which are present in this particular night. Mentally, we should be prepared from the first of Ramadan itself for this night, which doesn't happen in our culture. In our culture, we only come to know tomorrow is the night of 19th and it is Laylatul Qadr, and that also it's Shahadat Amir al-Mu'mineen, so that part is also there, which again itself is, this is again a mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that one of the means of achieving qurbat of Allah is the personality of Amir al-Mu'mineen. The tawassul of Amir al-Mu'mineen is also present in these particular nights over here. Hence, etiquettes are there, rituals are there, but our objective should not be to somehow complete the night by filling in rituals as much as we can. No, objective is to acquire the marifat, comprehend the night, develop a state change, reflect on what I have done before.
So we should spend a significant amount of time on just solitary reflection.
Yes, it should be spent significant amount of time.
Okay. And now we've talked a lot about the changes to the destiny, to the self state throughout our discussion, and how the self needs to move from one state to another, and this opportunity is this night is a means to really boost that the ability to get there. But with consideration, and we generally like to do this in this show, is to look at the social significance of these rituals, meaning that how does this night, which is a highly individual night, how can it shape the social affairs of a community, of a society? At the moment we're living in a very volatile time. There's a lot of turbulence in many regions of the world, specifically because of faith-related issues or misconceptions or fueling, instigation from enemies of Islam. How can this grand night be used as an opportunity to achieve the best destiny for the Ummah?
As we said before, that the philosophy of the night is to achieve the maximum possible qurbat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you achieve proximity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you develop divine attributes inside yourself as an individual. But collectively, when many people are doing the same thing, and they start to reach this state where they are achieving nearness and qurbat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they become divine persons, they are moving towards insan-e-kamil, then collectively this becomes nothing but Hizbullah, the group of Allah. Once the divine attributes are developed in yourself, and you have fought against the taghut which is inside yourself, you have overcome that, you have changed yourself in this night, then you are well prepared to come out to confront the taghut which is outside. A society which might be having very limited number of faithful people, truly faithful people who are really Ahl Suluk, can change the shape of the society. And this is what is eventually expected. Allah says, I am your wali and I take you out from zulmat into nur. What is zulmat? When Allah talks about zulmat, plural he uses zulmat, not one zulmat. There are many zulmat. When it talks about nur, it is singular. Nur is only one, which is the essence of Allah.
Right, yes.
Where haq, truth, is only one, but zulmat are many. One zulmat is inside myself, and not one, there are many. Zulmat of ignorance, zulmat of sins, zulmat of negligence. All these things are darkness which are inside me. And in this night of Laylatul Qadr and in this month of Ramadan, if I am able to come out of this zulmat, then I have to come out of other zulmat which are outside us. Like you put a seed inside the soil, the seed is in zulmat, it is in darkness. It has the ability to break that darkness. It breaks it, it comes out. But now it again needs to go further and overcome the other zulmat which are also there around it. The wind is there, the storm is there, it needs light, it needs water, it needs all these things to overcome the zulmat, eventually to bear the fruits and flowers. So this one form of zulmat, if we are able to overcome in this night, which is Jihad-e-Akbar, then you will be able to overcome the other zulmat which are there in the society. Today our society is full of darkness. And one of the reasons is because our self is also inside darkness, inside zulmat. Unless the self comes out of this zulmat, you will not be able to confront the zulmat which is there outside. If a person is self-centered and only thinks about his benefits, he thinks that my home is comfortable, I have electricity, I have power, I have everything, I have a mosque, I have a community center. What do I care about what others are doing or what are others' problems? Fine, as a matter of peace of mind and peace of heart, I can do some sadaqah, some charity to them. But he is not thinking about the zulmat in which they are living in, and it is his responsibility to bring them out of the zulmat. So this is one element. As I said also before now in this discussion about the state change
Mhm.
and the night of Ashura. If you take historically, I'll just give an example of two nights in history. Nights in history have played a very significant role and carry very key messages to us. One is the night of Ashura, and another was the night when Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad entered Kufa.
Mhm.
They were also Shias, they were all Mu'mineen,
Right.
they were all waiting for of their Imam of time, Imam Zamana, they were waiting of that particular Imam, desperately waiting, well prepared, and they were not weak person. They were all brave commandos who have fought battles. They were all warriors.
Mhm.
But one Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad comes and the destiny changes in that particular night. Their Qadr changes. Just out of fear that one night changed the destiny of the Kufas from being heroes of future
Mhm.
into accursed person throughout history.
Through destiny.
Through destinies. They change their destiny. Whereas come into the night of Ashura, where Abu Abdullah is offering them Jannat, Abu Abdullah is offering them salvation, Abu Abdullah is offering them Najat. But these people don't want to take that because their hearts were changed. They knew that even if they take Jannat over here, even if they are not punished for leaving Abu Abdullah, still there is one more zulmat which they have to overcome, which is the zulmat of Yazidiyat, which they have to overcome with their blood.
Right.
So they remained over there. Two nights changed the destiny of two people, two groups. One group was on the right destiny, left it. Another group was given assurance that even if you don't continue, you're fine. Still they continued on the path.
Right.
How did this come out? This came out from this internal state change. They were the Ahle Suluk who had the right marifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, marifat of their Imam, the marifat of their responsibilities. The social side of this is this only. Once my heart changes, immediately it should click me and remind me now what are my responsibilities. Responsibilities toward myself and towards the society over here. It is recommended in this night, specifically when you are seeking hajat, seek hajat for others, not for yourself. Those desires, those wishes which you ask for others, specifically for the oppressed Muslims of the world.
Right.
Lady Fatimatul Zahra, it is narrated in traditions that never ever she has asked for a single thing for herself in our hajat, in her duas. Always she has prayed for others. But if a person is self-centered and is only praying for himself,
Right, yes.
then this shows that his heart is not changed. Forget about being a social, what impact this night will have on him socially. This night will not have any impact on him even individually over here.
Right.
So that is what is, we can summarize as the social side of it.
Okay, with that, Sayyid Arif, I would like to thank you for sharing your wisdom today. And inshallah, with this guidance and with the essence of this surah, we'll be able to accomplish the state change this year and every year, inshallah. Thank you once again, and I thank you, the viewers, for tuning in today to the show. And we hope to see you very soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.